Watch any crowded city sidewalk, and you'll see a dozen versions of Ethan. He's 29, carving out a corporate career in New York, and completely locked into the glow of his screen. It's the morning rush, and his phone buzzes. Mom calling. He taps decline. A voicemail notification pops up a second later, and he swipes it away without breaking his stride. Ethan is operating under a common psychological trick. He views time as an endlessly renewable resource, assuming there will always be another evening to call back, another weekend to visit, and another chance to say, "I love you." But time doesn't renew itself. Over in a quiet Ohio suburb, his mother Linda spends her morning watering plants alone. She presses play on a saved audio file from months ago. "Hey, Mom, I got the job." She listens to it, and then she replays it again. Continually pushing our relationships into an imaginary future builds a very specific kind of physical distance. It creates a silent emotional vacuum where our actual presence is replaced by the mere intention to show up. Look at the difference in how these two people experience a single afternoon. On the left, Ethan's time is a densely packed block of rapid meetings and tasks. To him, a delay is just a minor schedule shift. But on the right, his mother's time is vast and open. For her, that same delay is a long, quiet stretch of waiting. While Ethan texts "busy, call later" over the deafening noise of a coworker's holiday party, his mother sits by herself next to a decorated Christmas tree. This disconnect eventually reaches a breaking point. Late one night at the office, Ethan's phone vibrates on his desk. Seeing his mother's name again, he sighs in irritation and hits decline, placing the phone face down. A moment later, the screen lights up with a single text message he doesn't read. "Just wanted to hear your voice tonight." When we treat people like pending calendar invites, they slowly stop feeling like part of our lives and start feeling like background tasks, something to be handled once the important work is done. The next morning, an unknown number flashes across Ethan's screen. It's a doctor. His mother passed away overnight from cardiac arrest. The safety net of someday vanishes instantly. The ambient hum of the New York traffic and the notifications pinging on his laptop become completely muffled, replaced by absolute silence. Stepping into his childhood home in Ohio days later, Ethan walks into a physical space that feels abruptly frozen in time. He is surrounded by the tangible evidence of a life he left waiting. Childhood drawings are still pinned to the fridge, faded pencil height markings line the doorframe, and resting quietly on the kitchen table is a handwritten note on a frozen dinner. "Heat for 3 minutes. Love you always." The weight of this grief comes from the realization that every postponed plan and busy text has now solidified into a permanent impossibility. That night, Ethan sits alone on the edge of his old childhood bed. He opens his phone and finally taps on the most agonizing artifact his mother left behind, that final, ignored voicemail. He braces himself, perhaps expecting a guilt trip. Instead, her recorded voice speaks with pure grace. "Hey, sweetheart, I know you're busy. I just wanted to say I'm proud of you, and I miss hearing your voice. Call me when you can. I love you." He stares at the visual voicemail playback on his screen. The simple audio waveform represents the final piece of connection left behind, carrying the quiet, steady truth of a mother's unconditional love and patience. Hearing the total lack of resentment in her tone strips away his remaining defenses. Ethan breaks down, sobbing into the quiet of the empty house. The sharpest pain of loss arrives when you are forced to confront the value of the exact moments you previously threw away. Weeks pass. The frenetic pacing of Ethan's mornings begins to slow down. He steps away from the corporate hustle, sitting quietly on a sunlit park bench, entirely present in the moment. His behavior reflects a new priority. Instead of declining incoming calls, he initiates them. He calls his father, then his sister. He tracks down old friends he hasn't spoken to in years. We can see this change in how Ethan rebuilds his world. He is no longer isolated. Instead, he is actively reaching out to others, making time for conversations, and rebuilding the important relationships he had previously ignored. He is treating these connections as urgent, present tense actions. Ethan has stopped hoarding his minutes like a currency to be saved for later. He started spending them on the people who give those minutes meaning. He understands now what his mother's voicemail was really trying to teach him. The people who love us the most usually ask for the absolute least. Realizing the scarcity of our time changes everything. It means understanding that someday is a myth, and the only guarantee we have is right now. So make the call today.